everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm Jahanvi and I'm a PhD third year student, and in this channel I like to talk about various challenges that a PhD student face. So if you are one or are planning to be one, you should stay tuned. So in today's video, we are going to address a very important question that you must ask before doing a PhD. Why you should do it. So before we talk about reason why you should do a PhD, let's discuss the reasons why you shouldn't do a PhD. Well, one of the most important reasons, which should not be the reason for pursuing a PhD, is just because you've had an excellent academic record. Just because you've always been the topper of your class doesn't mean that you should go for a PhD. Because PhD is very different from the rest of the education that you've pursued all your life. Most of the education that we learn is about answering questions, learning from your textbooks, and it's about testing your knowledge. However, PhD is completely different from that. It's more about asking questions and creating knowledge rather than just learning what's already out there in the textbooks or just testing the knowledge. It's about creating the knowledge. So just because you were good in school or you were good in your college doesn't mean that you're going to be good in PhD as well, because it's going to be very different from that. So it should not be the only reason for pursuing a PhD. Another very important reason why you shouldn't go for a PhD is just because you're lost in life. Just because you don't know what to do next, just because you're not sure about your career, doesn't mean you should just take the next step in academia and move on to doing a PhD. Because PhD is a major commitment. It is going to take at least 4 to 5 years out of your life, which is a major chunk. And you will be focused on doing research on a very focused topic, and it is going to require a lot of commitment. So it's a huge commitment. So before you move on to doing that, you should definitely think it through. You should not just do it because you don't know what else to do. Another reason, the very obvious one, why you should not do a PhD is for money or for fame, because no, PhD is not going to give you any money. Well, if you're lucky to get some really good stipend, you might get a really good fellowship or stipend, but still, the amount of effort that you're going to put into it, if you're a money-minded person, you should better pursue some other career, because PhD is not for making money for sure. So yeah, that should not be a reason. Also, if you think doing a PhD can make you the smartest person in the room, you might be wrong, because no, people don't care if you have a PhD. And PhD is mostly about focusing on a very narrow topic of your research. So yes, you will know so much about your topic of interest, but you may not have a lot of knowledge about other things. So you may not be the smartest person in the room. So these may be popular misbeliefs about doing a PhD, such as just because I'm a topper, I'm supposed to do a PhD, or just because I don't know what else to do, or I'm going to be the smartest person in the room, or it's going to get me a lot of money. So no, those things are just misbeliefs. Those should not be the reason for you to do a PhD. And now that we have these popular misbeliefs out of the way, let's discuss the reasons why you should do a PhD. So one of the good reasons for doing a PhD is if you really enjoy learning new things, if you really like being in academia, if you love to read about new research, and of course doing it yourself. And yeah, then it's a good reason to go into this field, because it might be for you. Another, if you want to be a professor one day, if you enjoy teaching, and if you like to be in a university, If that is your career goals, then yes, PhD is the clear defined path for that, so you should go for it. Another very good reason is if you see yourself as a critical thinker, as a curious person who likes to explore and learn new things. If you're that kind of person, then it is definitely the career path for you, because it's all what a PhD is about. It's about being curious about things. It's about asking interesting questions and then coming up with ways to answer them. So if you see yourself as a curious person who likes to know things, and if your curiosity is still alive inside of you after years of being in school and colleges where it's practically killed, so then yes, PhD is definitely for you, and you should definitely go for it, because I cannot think of a better career for a curious person. And the great thing about a PhD is if you're a curious person, you will be paid for asking questions and answering them. You will be paid for your curiosity, which is so great. What can be a better life for someone who is a critical thinker, who likes to question things and of course come up with answers eventually. So yes, if you enjoy those things, if you see yourself as someone who's curious, someone who likes to learn new things, someone who is a fighter and doesn't give up, because PhD is going to be a little difficult, not little, much more than little, but it's gonna be worth it, because you will be doing something that you love. And of course, every job, every career path comes with its challenges, so nothing is going to be easy in life. You need to know what you are made for. You need to know what you love and enjoy, because even if you do things that you love, there will still be challenges. There will still be times when you're not going to love it so much and you might get frustrated. But that's okay to have challenges, because you can always overcome them, as long as you know deep down in your heart that this is what you always wanted to do. This is what you're made for, and this is what gives you that deep sense of satisfaction inside of you. And if that is the case, then you should definitely go for a PhD, and you can overcome all those challenges that you will face and that I talk about in other videos, if you're passionate for what you're doing, right? If it gives you a sense of happiness. Because coming up from my own experience, there are times when my experiments don't work, when I analyze and I don't get any results, anything or what I expected, and that's a little sad. And there are times when I have to put months or weeks of work into something very little, and it doesn't make sense. It may not make sense to others, that why am I putting so much effort into something like that? But deep down, I know what I'm doing. Deep down, I know when I get that result, when I will finally find the answer to my question, when I will finally figure out why this thing is like this, it is going to give me so much satisfaction and happiness, and it'll be worth it. So I enjoy doing it, because I know where I'm going, because I know why I'm doing this. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how hard it gets, how difficult it is, you can always work through it, because you know this is what you want to do with your life. So if that is the case with you, you should definitely go for a PhD. And if you're not a person who is curious or who likes to learn new things, if you're more of a money-minded person, if you are more of a, business-minded person, you may not want to pursue a PhD. It may not be the best career choice for you. And if you're someone who doesn't know what you want to do with your life, still don't commit to something so big before being sure about it. So take your time, think about it, explore things, and then look at yourself and see what are the things that you really enjoy, what are the things that you're really passionate about, and what is it that you can do for the rest of your life without getting bored. I mean, of course, there'll be some times when you're bored, but something that you will never get tired of, and find that thing and then pursue that, instead of just, unknowingly getting into a big commitment. So yeah, that's the reasons why you should and should not do a PhD, and I hope it will be useful to a lot of people who are struggling with their with this question in their life right now. But yes, guys, it's worth thinking it through because you only get one life, so you should definitely invest your time and energy into something that you enjoy and not get depressed from. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you like it, let me know in the comments, and if you have any more questions, let me know.